That bitch is lying. Hello, everyone. Terrence here with Hollywood Already Did It. If you haven't already, go ahead, like, share, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell below. Anytime we have something, you will be among the first to know. 7 episodes. We're almost there, guys. We're coming around the bend. 7 episode of Saved by the Bell reboot. This one is called House Party. So you know there's going to be a house party. So the A story for this is Mac and Lexi, who I sort of spoke on earlier, just the way that they interacted, and then how they had in the one episode where we reveal Lexi's transition. They're good friends. They've been friends for a long time. So this scheming stuff that they do, they've been working this tit for tat for ages. Lexi brings up to Mac, not telling him why she wants to break them up, not the real reason, but Mac has an issue with Jamie and that he wants his attention for the tickets that he has for a game or concert, can't remember. And and Lexi just wants them separated. So they come up with a scheme to break Aisha up from Jamie. Pretty elaborate scheme, a 100-point scheme that they go through from tit for tat, and we get to see how it works and the inner workings and all of that. And that's the main story of this particular episode. This whole breakup situation is supposed to happen at a house party that is being at Jamie's house, also Jesse Spano's house, with Jesse not being around as a chaperone. She's going out. She trusts her kid. Oh, it'll just be a few people. It's a party. And so the main way that whole beat goes is they go through it, and it's working to a charm. I mean, they are knocking it out the park. Everything seems to be working. And Lexi gets a change of heart. She's growing a conscience, as she says, or she's getting soft. And she realizes that Aisha really cares about Jamie, and Jamie really cares about Aisha. And Lexi goes to tell Aisha that she and Mac came up with this scheme to break them apart and to make her jealous, and she's sorry that she succeeded. Aisha lets her know that she wasn't jealous. She's more so conflicted because this house looks fantastic. These gifts are at least at the very minimum $200. And Aisha is sad that she can't afford to give Jamie the gifts or the life that he's used to coming from where she does. She's like, I can't even I don't even have a gift here tonight. I was trying to create one, and what she creates and the reaction that Lexi gives to her creation, it's fantastic. This is the first time that we kind of get any interaction really between just Aisha and just Lexi, and it's a interaction that I would like to see more of in the future. They have sort of a resolve to say that, I'm going to back off, he's yours, and Aisha and Jamie sort of ride off into the sunset. That's the A story at the house party. The B story at the house party is Daisy trying to rebrand herself. She's been sort of known as the straight and narrow, goody two shoes, too good for parties type of person, and she's going to rebrand herself at this party to say that she can party with the best of them. Unfortunately for her, she has pre-gamed a little bit too much, and she's already out of the party by the time that she gets there. What's funny is that she said she wants to enjoy a party. There's a point where she says at the beginning, are the parties a lot like Euphoria, where it's smoke-colored rooms and purple filters? And so what we get is hilarious. We get every time that we're looking at the party via the eyes of Daisy, we get it in this super dazed over / The Weekend / Euphoria style of shot where everything looks so moody and purple and smoky, and then we see shots of what it actually is, and you're like, oh, this girl is toe up, like she's just drunk. And it's fun to see her come out of her shell a little bit. Devontae does a really good job of trying to make sure she's okay, even if it's just like, I'm just gonna throw you in a closet for a while. But it's fun to see her not be the typical straight A, I gotta do everything by the book type of person. So the C story, and what I kind of makes my heart smile a little bit, especially for all those Saved by the Bell fans, is Slater. Slater has a pretty good story in this one. So Slater, the principal Ron, has gone onto a dating app and created an app or gotten a date based on essentially catfishing and stealing Slater's photo. So he asked Slater to do a double date with him to to actually get through the date and to actually be present so that one of the girls can go off onto that way. And so before he says no, he says I know, and before he does that, he says no, and then he goes to Jesse because I think he's aware of the house party that's happening, and he sort of gives himself to like, hey, I'll be there to chaperone with you, that we can chaperone together. Again, his way of sort of inching closer, just not even trying to steal on Renee's wife with Jesse, but just to kind of be around her. Jesse's not going to be there. That's when he finds out. He's like, well, screw it. All right, I'll go on this double date with you. And he does, and the date's going well, like really well. He's kicking it. He's getting off. He's finally doing something that feels right for him. For somebody who's been so lonely, it's good. You see, AC still got it, but he gets a call in the middle of his date from Jessie, who is freaking out because she's gotten alerts from her neighbors that the noise from her house is too much. She can't get there, but could Slater do it? Oh, poor Slater. He really loves Jesse. He self-sabotages the good date that is going well for the love of his life, whom he right now is in unrequited love. So he leaves Michelle there, tells her he's terribly sorry, but he runs to the scene, to the house, to try to tell the kids to be quiet. And he comes in and says, hey guys, you guys break it up. You can't do this. This is where the Saved by the Bell fans are going to really, really geek out. They challenge him. He's like, well, you're just an old man. You challenge him to a dance-off. And he's like, you can't dance. It's like, thanks, these later can't dance. And then we get the dance from the opening episode of Saved by the Bell. Not Good Morning, Miss Bliss, but the very first episode of Saved by the Bell when they have the dance-off. We get Mr. Lopez's dance, and with the music actually playing as well, and it's so meta and so fun, but it's a good time. They also do sort of the sleepover attire and dance and slide in that Mario and the boys did when they were younger on the Saved by the Bell. So it's a lot of flashbacking homages happening in here, and it's great. But at the end of the day, what eventually happens is the cops are called, and the cops show up because Mario is the oldest person there. Shows up with a rope, and he gets the situation de-escalated. And the cop says, hey, you're going to thank us one day when you're as old as us and married with kids and whatnot. You're going to realize that this dancing and this partying stuff isn't what it's all about. And then he leaves. And Mario sort of has to come to Jesus moment because one of the kids say, hey, I hope to be as cool as you when I'm lonely and childless when I grow up. And that hit hard. And he has everybody leave. He makes everybody forcibly leave and tell them everybody to get out. It's one of the first times, again, to play on a couple of other times you get, but that's the first time that you can just physically just see the effect of the way that the world has gone for him. It's probably not the way that AC has imagined it to be. Fast forward to the very end of the episode, AC is cleaning up the house when Jesse and Renee show up. And in seeing them together and seeing, you can tell, well, originally it looks like it's just going to be Jesse and then AC, and he's lit up, he's smiling, and then Renee comes in, he kind of like, oh, well, Renee's here. And there's an exchange of saying, Jesse's like, hey, you should stay for dinner, we have this, and Renee's like, we don't really have enough for that, but yeah, stay, and AC overhears it, because he's not being quiet. And AC realizes that, like, he's pining over somebody that he just can't have. Sucks. So he then makes the call to the date that he just left, Michelle, and say, hey, are you still available, or you want to go out on a date again? I would like that. And that's the way that this episode ends. We sort of have up the seeds of what could be more will they, won't they between AC and Jesse, but we've seen that Jamie and Aisha are still going strong, despite Lexi doing her best effort. Mac will scheme whenever he wants to. Daisy's drunk with angel wings, and Mario still got it as a dancer. I thought they were gonna have to ice him down, but he still got the moves. He did quite well. But that's it for episode 7, House Party. While not as societal impacting as some of the previous episodes, this episode does a lot for character, specifically AC Slater, as well as Lexi sort of having a realization moment that she shouldn't fight for something she can't quite have. She'll just bide her time, if you will. Go ahead and leave your comments about this episode and the show in the comments below. If you haven't already, you can follow us on Twitter at HollywoodADI. You can hit us up on email at HollywoodAlreadyDidIt@gmail.com. We also have a podcast with the same name that is on Google Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere that plays podcasts. We're there. And like always, I got my ticket. You got yours.